What's up, everyone? I'm with my good friend Jesse Stewart from NAVAC. Always crushing it. How you doing, brother?
Glad to see you again, man.
Definitely go check out our podcast we did. It's awesome on A2Ls. And it's, take the fear out of it. I just did a presentation here at the HVAC Symposium on taking the fear out of CO2 and A2Ls and hydrocarbons. But Jesse, what's been happening, brother?
So, as you know, I travel all over the country, and one of the hottest topics, flammable pun intended, is A2L. And just like in previous generations of technicians, we've seen this time and time again. Every time a new refrigerant comes out, history repeats itself. People become afraid. And the blessing and the curse with what we're dealing with today is we have the ability to be the best generation of tech that ever existed. We have the internet in our back pocket. But unfortunately, Trevor, not everything you read on the internet is true. And people don't want to do any research.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, right? Because right here, if you're working on flammable refrigerants, you need to use one of these, right?
It's better safe than sorry. So those of you that want to argue about that, it's better safe than sorry. Because when we talk about an A2L compatible tool, it's true, there's no regulation technically here in the States yet. But with us, with NAVAC, we actually went through additional UL testing. And we actually either received that certification here in the States, we received from the CSA, or the ETL. And why not be safe instead of sorry? All it takes is for you to be unlucky one time.
What do you think the biggest thing is, though, besides the tools, besides anything else? What is the biggest thing that they should, like technicians should be doing?
Understand that the only thing that is changing for anyone in the field today is that best practices are no longer a recommendation.
Yes.
If you've been doing it right the whole time, man, nothing's going to change.
No.
It's all common sense. Like, here's the biggest one. My favorite thing I love hearing. I'm not going to work around that stuff. It's dangerous. Fun fact for everybody out there. If you've dealt with a 410A system, you've been working around it this entire time. Sorry, I get very passionate about it.
No, and it's good because like I just did that presentation, and Purdue University, they do tons of refrigeration studies. And in one of them, they show a picture of 410 igniting, R32 igniting, POE oil igniting. So it's always been there. It's just now we need to follow the rules that always should have been followed.
Yeah, well, you talked about it in your presentation earlier. Techs that are unsweating things. Fun fact for any tech that's ever unsweated something, I guarantee, especially a filter dryer in a 410 system, you saw a flame. And what's the immediate reaction? What do you think they always say? It's the oil. Guess what else is in the oil? The refrigerant.
Exactly.
410A will burn. There's photo evidence of it from Chemours, and what was the place you mentioned?
Purdue University.
Purdue University. They both have done testing. And a fun fact for anyone out there listening, any form of matter, if placed in the right environment, will burn and become a fuel, except water. You find someone who can burn water, stay away from that person.
Well, that's it. I really appreciate this because the big thing is if you follow best practices, you do some training, you do some research, use your cutting tools and don't unbraze stuff, get to a ventilated area because right now you can just vent it. At some point, I'm sure we won't be able to vent it, but that's another day for another topic.
Well, that and the A2L still have to be recovered.
There you go. The A2Ls
still have to be recovered.
Yeah, so you should be recovering once again in the first place, where we know this is a law, regulations usually around the world. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's usually you gotta recover that stuff.
You need to recover it regardless, because even if you're dealing with, we'll say, an A3 refrigerant in a refrigeration market, pay attention to your surroundings. There could be multiple sources of ignition around you. And your presentation here at the symposium actually showed a demonstration of what would be the word, becoming complacent can do. And throwing caution to the wayside. You just got to be unlucky one time to change your entire career.
And we want to be safe out there. That's the big, why we do this is to be safe. That's the only thing I want you, if you're a technician out there and you're working on this, we want you to be safe. We want you to be better. So it's super, super, Jesse, thanks so much.
Appreciate it, man.